In this video, I'm going to discuss about the pressurized metered-dose inhaler, and what we are going to understand is the key components of the pressurized metered-dose inhaler, how to use a pressurized metered-dose inhaler, the key steps to use an MDI, and why is it not a good idea to prescribe an MDI alone to a child, and why is it advisable to always use an MDI with a spacer. So what are the different parts of the MDI? So MDI, pressurized metered-dose inhaler, I'm sure we all have seen, we all are aware of this device, and it is commonly known as the inhaler. People also call it the pump. So what are the components? This is the cap of the inhaler. This plastic body is called as the actuator, and this is the canister. Now we should know that in this canister the drug is very little. So suppose this canister is of 14 ml, the drug that will be there in this canister is just about 0.8 to 1 ml. The remaining are surfactant, propellant and other compounds like stabilizers. So this pressurized metered-dose inhaler contains the drug which is mixed with the propellant, which is nothing but a compressed gas at cold temperature, and whenever we press the inhaler like this, the compressed gas decompresses and aerosolizes, and with the aerosol the drug also comes out. So this is the pressurized metered-dose inhaler. There is a valve over here through which the drug comes out. Now, what is the correct technique of using the pressurized dose inhaler? I'm going to be demonstrating the steps of using the pressurized metered-dose inhaler along with the rationale for each step. And it's very important that we explain the rationale also to our to the parents and to the patients. Otherwise, they will never know the importance of each step. Okay. So first of all, we have to remove the cap, okay, and shake the inhaler. Believe you me, a lot of patients take it with the cap on, and we can understand that the drug is not available at all for inhalation. Remove the cap, shake the inhaler. As we saw in the previous slide, there is only a small amount of the drug per se, the rest all are surfactant and propellant. So to ensure that the drug that is released per actuation is actually the drug as per the label, we have to ensure that the little bit of drug is uniformly dispersed within the canister, and that's why shaking the inhaler is very important. Then we have to breathe out gently and deeply to empty the lungs. It's very clear that only if the lungs are empty will there be sufficient inhalation of and with the sufficient inhalation the drug will also go inside. So make sure that the patient exhales out completely, empties the lungs. Then the mouthpiece has to be held between the teeth. The lips should be sealed around the mouthpiece completely. Now a very important step in this case is that the actuation and inhalation has to be very well coordinated. So the moment the patient actuates, the inhalation should start. If this is not coordinated, there is either wastage of drug or more of the drug is deposited in the oropharynx without being available for inhalation into the airways. Once actuation is done, one has to take a slow and deep breath. This is very important for pressurized metered-dose inhaler. Slow and deep breath. Hold the breath for 10 seconds and then exhale out gently through the nose. I will show all the steps in a go. Shake. First of all, holding the inhaler should always be the thumb over here. There is a slot for holding the inhaler, so thumb over here and two fingers up here. When you press the two fingers, the dose gets actuated. I hope you could see the drug coming out. Shake, exhale, hold, this is the technique of taking a pressurized metered-dose inhaler alone. Now, a few important things. What do you mean by priming? So whenever we buy a new pressurized metered-dose inhaler and start using it, we have to waste away about 3 to 4 doses into the air away from the face. So you have to shake and just waste away the dose. This is very important because the valve over here can sometimes be clogged due to the propellant, and the chamber that is there for collecting the drug inside the inhaler, that has to be filled. So in short, to make the inhaler ready for inhalation, we have to do this step called as priming, and for that, as I said, we waste out 3 to 4 doses in the air away from the face. When do we do priming? Whenever we are starting a new inhaler, or whenever we are using an inhaler after a gap of at least 4 to 7 days. So sometimes for cases where we have to give intermittent therapy, mild cases of asthma, they should always waste a few drugs before taking the inhaler. For those who are taking it regularly twice a day, it is not necessary to do priming. But when you are using the inhaler after a gap, yes, priming is essential. Okay. Now, one very important question that we often used to get is, how do we know that the canister is empty? Well, we are very lucky that today we have inhalers with a dose counter. So here you can see there are numbers marked, and every 20 doses the counter moves ahead. So you will have the counter reading 120 and then 100 and then 80. The biggest advantage is that it is color coded. So when the last 40 doses are remaining, the inhaler or the counter becomes red. And this is something we should educate our patients about. Tell them that when this counter turns red, please procure your new inhaler. So many times it happens that the patients have not paid any attention to the inhaler, to the counter, the canister is empty, the doses are all finished, and the patient still keeps taking from the empty canister. Remember, some amount of propellant and stabilizer will still keep coming even if the canister is empty. So, and the patient feel that they are taking the medication, but it's not helping them. So educate the patients about the dose counter. What are the disadvantages of pressurized metered-dose inhaler? Firstly, the actuation inhalation coordination is a big challenge. Even adults cannot do it very well. Okay? How can we expect children to take the inhaler with well coordinated fashion directly? Secondly, the drug is released at a very high speed, and this very high speed, most of the drug is impacted at the back of the throat because of inertia. So imagine at such a high speed it is coming, most of it is going to get impacted at the back of the throat. Less is available for inhalation, lesser reaches the airways. Because there is more oropharyngeal deposition, there are chances of oropharyngeal candidiasis. So it is very important that we explain to the patients that after taking the MDI directly, they should gargle and they should rinse them out and spit it out. Now, will younger children be able to do this? Not really. Also, when there is a high oropharyngeal impaction, a lot of drug is stuck at the back of the throat. That drug is swallowed, and that can lead to systemic complications and systemic side effects of steroids. So if you remember in my first video, I said that there are no systemic complications if the dose is taken with, if the drug is taken in the right dosage and with the right technique. more often than not, the side effects that are associated with inhaled medications are because the dosage that are given are very high. We come across prescriptions for 2 and 3 year old where something like 200 to 400 micrograms twice a day of budesonide or 250 micrograms twice a day of fluticasone is prescribed. It is a very high dose for a child. So it is when you're prescribing in correct dosage with the correct technique, the side effects are nil. Okay, there's something called as cold freon effect that happens. The drug is coming out at a very cold temperature, so when it releases, it is released from the valve, it's at minus 30 degrees centigrade. By the time it reaches the oropharynx, it's at 0 degrees centigrade. At this cold temperature, it can lead to irritation of the throat, paroxysmal coughing. So that is another side effect of using the pressurized meter dose inhaler directly. And it is very easy to overcome all these side effects by using a spacer. So this is the spacer, and it helps overcome all the disadvantages of using the MDI alone. And we also prescribe it for all adults, and MDI and spacer is the drug of choice for all age groups, in fact. Okay, so I will speak more about an MDI and spacer in my subsequent video. Thank you all very much.